How does the enemy behave? Disgusting. This is probably the most succinct definition of how Ukrainian troops behave when retreating. The village of Bagaz remained almost intact, but right at the moment of recording the interview, the already departed parts are hitting the houses with direct fire. The horror of what is happening. I have guests from Donetsk. We are sitting in basements. Let's go. Bandera are terrible people, they are like fascists. Well, why do they impose this bandera on me? We all live together. Well, why did we do this? Why did Ukrainians start a war? And now we have lost Ukraine. Many people have been killed. When the Ukrainian troops left, they took everything they could take with them, including they requisitioned cars from local residents. The only way to save the car is to disable it. This car was left here in the garage only because it is not on the move. A terrible picture. Abandoned, burned equipment and bodies of the Ukrainian military. There is a sweep. The enemy continues to snarl from the outskirts, while residents remain in the basement. Journalists and the DPR military help them to leave the war zone whenever possible. We are recording this conversation already in Donetsk. Ukrainian troops were hiding among the civilian population. It was scary, because if they had been shot at in response, we would have suffered too. We were used as a human shield.
Natalia's shell destroyed her parents' house. Their fate is unknown. She and her children got out.
Dad waited for me for 7 years and didn't wait.
Just during one of these operations to evacuate civilians on Saturday, the commander of the legendary Sparta, with the call sign Goka, was killed.
Here are the last shots in which he examines the map to get people out of the basement.
He did not wait for the opportunity to return to his hometown of Slavyansk for quite a while. The territories of the republics are growing in huge areas and at a huge pace.
Here Denis Pushilin visits Granitnoye, a large village in the Telmanovsky district. Meeting with school teachers. What happened will have to be explained correctly to the students, but first everything should be clarified for themselves. Humanitarian aid is distributed on the square. Newspapers with words impossible in Ukraine and gas in cylinders are 1.5 times cheaper. 500 hryvnia balloon, and in Ukraine it was 700 hryvnia. Here is the central square. A monument to Lenin stood on the pedestal until 2014. Then it was destroyed and the flag of Ukraine was put up instead of Lenin. Now, apparently, the monument has been denazified. Shortly before the departure of the Ukrainian troops, a resonant murder took place here. The nationalists killed 2 civilians here. In a brick house, the nationalists were with German crosses with swastikas and killed our local residents, 2 guys just like that. The attitude of the village of Granitnoye with Ukraine is very similar to the very dislike on the part of the stepmother, and this love was not mutual.
That's how he reacts to us, Russian journalists.
God bless you, all of you guys. So that you are alive and well.
Everything will be fine.
There is now a special financial zone in the liberated territory. Both the ruble and the hryvnia are in circulation. According to the bank rate, sellers have cleverly learned to count both ways. How much does the charm candy cost? 200 hryvnias or 600 rubles. The front is rolling back both in the south and southwest direction, but the grouping of Ukrainian troops near Donetsk is not going anywhere yet and continues to shell the city. I was lying in my room. Then the first time it hit. Then the second time it hit, it stunned me. I had a big injury here. It hit me in the leg, but it didn't hit Dad. Mom was at work. Then we had no bandages left and we decided to go to a neighbor, because at least he had a basement. The Republican Trauma Center continues to receive wounded not only military, but also civilian. We have formed additional medical team. In the 14th and 15th years, we were already dealing with a massive influx of civilians. In fact, we are doing our job and helping people. The hottest point in the Donetsk People's Republic is, of course, Mariupol. Only a few managed to get out, and then they are from the outskirts, where there are no cordon. There were 7 of us in one room, and a shell hit the next room. We grabbed everything we had, pulled our shoes out from under the bricks and ran away from there along the river. The ring around Mariupol is tightly closed. Here Denis Pushilin in the considered impregnable fortified area, which was equipped by Ukrainian nationalists in the village of Shirokino, present the war to soldiers who distinguished themselves during the assault. The commanders directly declare that civilians are waiting for their arrival in Mariupol. They are waiting for us and they correspond in the telegram. They are very much waiting for us. They write release us as soon as possible, because we feel bad under Ukraine. The humanitarian catastrophe caused by the fact that the exits from Mariupol were blocked by the Nazis is becoming more and more threatening day by day.